Welcome to episode 79 of your CySA Plus Prepcast. In today's episode, we will explore data poisoning risks, an increasingly relevant threat category in modern cybersecurity environments. As more organizations rely on machine learning, predictive analytics, and artificial intelligence to guide operational and security decisions, the integrity of underlying data becomes critical. Data poisoning attacks specifically target that trust by manipulating data inputs, corrupting training data sets, and degrading the accuracy of automated systems. These attacks can go undetected while slowly compromising business logic, decision models, and system behavior. Understanding how data poisoning works and learning how to prevent, detect, and mitigate these attacks will greatly enhance your value as a cybersecurity analyst and directly align with your success on the CySA Plus exam. Let's start by clearly defining what a data poisoning attack entails. Data poisoning occurs when an attacker introduces false, manipulated, or malicious data into a data system with the intent of corrupting its functionality or outcomes. This is often done by exploiting insecure data collection methods or injecting bad inputs into training data sets used by machine learning models. Over time, as the poisoned data is processed and normalized, it alters the logic and assumptions that underlie key algorithms, causing them to behave unpredictably or inaccurately. These attacks are particularly concerning in machine learning systems. Most machine learning models depend on clean, high-quality data during their training phase. If an attacker manages to feed manipulated data into the training process, the resulting model may learn faulty relationships or decision boundaries. This means that when the model is later used in a production environment, it may make incorrect predictions, allow security bypasses, or fail to detect malicious behaviors. Analysts must recognize that poisoning the learning phase can be just as dangerous as traditional runtime exploitation. Data poisoning comes in two primary forms: targeted and untargeted. Targeted poisoning focuses on influencing specific outputs, such as causing a spam filter to misclassify malicious content as safe. Untargeted poisoning, on the other hand, degrades the overall model performance by introducing enough noise or bias to reduce accuracy across the board. Understanding this distinction helps analysts tailor mitigation efforts and risk assessments based on the type and scope of the potential attack. The success of a data poisoning attack often hinges on weaknesses in the data ingestion pipeline. Systems that ingest data from external sources, user inputs, third-party services, or open web scraping routines are particularly vulnerable. Attackers exploit these collection mechanisms by injecting carefully crafted data designed to bypass superficial checks. Analysts must examine the entire pipeline from ingestion to storage to processing and ensure that all inputs are authenticated, validated, and monitored for integrity. The consequences of successful data poisoning can be far-reaching. A corrupted model might misclassify malware, fail to flag fraudulent activity, or allow access to unauthorized users. In financial services, this might lead to incorrect credit assessments or flawed trading predictions. In healthcare, the consequences could involve misdiagnosis or treatment recommendations based on faulty model logic. Analysts must account for the business and operational risks associated with trusting systems that may be compromised at the data level. Data poisoning risks are most acute in environments that heavily rely on automated or semi-automated decision-making. This includes cybersecurity detection engines, recommendation systems, fraud detection platforms, and even autonomous systems in transportation or manufacturing. In such contexts, poisoned data doesn't just distort results, it can cause widespread business disruption, data loss, or safety concerns. Analysts need to factor in not only how data poisoning occurs, but what systems will be affected if the attack is successful. Proactive monitoring and validation of data integrity are crucial defense mechanisms. Analysts implement data validation routines that perform sanity checks, verify expected ranges, and compare new inputs against historical norms. Statistical techniques such as variance analysis or clustering algorithms can help detect anomalies that suggest manipulation. These validation checks act as tripwires that help identify poisoning attempts before they can be incorporated into live systems or models. Preventing data poisoning requires strong data hygiene practices. Input validation must be applied not only at the user level but also across data sources, third-party connectors, and external APIs. Sanitization removes dangerous payloads while formatting checks ensure data consistency. These controls help prevent invalid or manipulative data from entering analytic platforms. Analysts also implement secure data collection practices that require authentication and encryption to reduce the risk of man-in-the-middle manipulation. Analysts must also identify and secure attack surfaces across the broader data ecosystem. This includes securing data repositories, machine learning environments, model training frameworks, and cloud-hosted analytics tools. Configuration audits, access controls, and segmentation help limit exposure. Analysts monitor which systems contribute to critical models and apply threat modeling to understand which assets would be attracted to an attacker trying to poison data flow. This threat-centric approach ensures that defenses are properly aligned with real risks. All data poisoning assessments and response plans must be thoroughly documented. Analysts track potential attack scenarios, describe their impacts, log response procedures, and record the tools used to detect anomalies. This documentation supports compliance with data integrity standards, provides historical insight for future investigations, and demonstrates the organization's commitment to secure analytics. It also helps train new analysts and align the security posture with industry best practices. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Effective detection of data poisoning involves continuous monitoring of data inputs, training datasets, model outputs, and analytics pipelines. Analysts deploy data inspection tools that scan for anomalies in real time and flag unusual patterns or outliers that deviate from known norms. This monitoring includes validating not only the structure and type of incoming data, but also its behavior over time. Consistent shifts in model performance or unexpected drops in accuracy may indicate that data integrity has been compromised, prompting analysts to perform deeper investigations. Statistical analysis techniques help analysts detect potential poisoning at scale. Methods such as standard deviation analysis, clustering, outlier detection, and entropy measurements are used to uncover irregularities. If a normally balanced dataset suddenly shows skewed distributions or unexpected clustering of values, it could signal that poison data has been introduced. These statistical techniques complement real-time monitoring and help detect poisoning that evolves gradually rather than immediately disrupting outputs. Automation plays a critical role in identifying poison data early in the pipeline. Analysts implement automated validation rules that check for duplicates, inconsistent values, missing fields, or invalid formats. These rules act as the first line of defense, blocking anomalous data before it enters training workflows or production models. Systems that ingest data continuously or from multiple sources benefit especially from this automation, which ensures that validation occurs consistently and without delay. Controlled simulation is another method analysts use to evaluate resilience against data poisoning. Red team exercises and penetration testing scenarios simulate poisoning attacks on sample datasets or live pipelines to observe system behavior and assess detection efficacy. These exercises reveal blind spots in validation logic or data handling practices and help analysts improve their defensive measures. Analysts also test how systems respond to intentionally injected noise or edge cases to verify model robustness and response thresholds. Threat intelligence enhances detection by alerting analysts to ongoing data poisoning campaigns, commonly targeted industries, and known attacker tactics. Intelligence feeds provide information about adversaries attempting to poison data sets used in fraud detection, cybersecurity analytics, or autonomous platforms. By incorporating this intelligence into their data monitoring processes, analysts can identify signs of attack earlier and tailor their defenses to evolving threats. Strong data handling policies also contribute to poisoning prevention. Analysts implement strict access controls to limit who can upload, modify, or influence training data. They use encryption to protect data in transit and at rest, reducing the risk of unauthorized changes. Data integrity checks, such as cryptographic hashes and checksums, ensure that any unauthorized modifications are quickly detected. These technical controls are paired with organizational policies to enforce accountability and control over critical data sets. Mitigating data poisoning also means securing the entire machine learning lifecycle. Analysts ensure that training environments are isolated, monitored, and protected from external interference. Only verified and trusted data sets are used for model training. Analysts validate model performance after each training session, ensuring that there are no unexplained deviations or anomalous outputs. They also implement version control and logging for datasets, model parameters, and training code to preserve a secure audit trail. Effective prevention requires cross-team collaboration. Analysts work closely with data scientists, machine learning engineers, and IT operations to design secure data flows, establish access boundaries, and define anomaly thresholds. Together, these teams evaluate which parts of the pipeline are vulnerable, determine how poisoning could occur, and identify the most effective security controls to deploy. Collaboration ensures that security is integrated into the data workflow without impeding performance or operational efficiency. Analyst training must evolve to include data poisoning-specific skills. Training includes detecting poisoned data, simulating attacks, understanding how adversaries manipulate model behavior, and identifying early signs of model drift. Analysts also study secure data engineering principles and learn to deploy tools that automate validation, track lineage, and verify model integrity. A well-trained analyst understands how data poisoning differs from other forms of attack and how to apply both preventative and responsive controls accordingly. Lastly, analysts maintain comprehensive documentation of their detection and mitigation strategies. They record which validation checks are in place, how anomalies are investigated, and which models or data sets have been affected. They maintain threat models, impact assessments, and data provenance logs to show how data flows through the environment and where it may be susceptible to manipulation. This documentation supports compliance requirements, enhances organizational learning, and serves as a reference point for future enhancements to the data protection strategy. To summarize episode 79, data poisoning is a sophisticated threat that compromises the integrity of data-driven systems and machine learning models. Analysts must understand how poisoning occurs, how to detect it, and how to prevent it across the entire data lifecycle. With proactive validation, statistical monitoring, access controls, and secure training environments, organizations can defend against these attacks and ensure reliable system behavior. Mastery of these concepts strengthens your real-world cybersecurity capabilities and is directly aligned with the objectives of the CySA Plus exam. Stay tuned as we continue your comprehensive journey towards CySA Plus certification success. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.